In keeping with its commitment to adding value for its shareholders, the national oil company NNPC Limited is exploring and reviewing the way it manages its growing business in line with best industry standards. These reviews center around strengthening the company's financial reporting processes and improving the liquidity management strategies, as well as best security measures on its assets. That's our major story on the show tonight. Hello and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, a show that brings you developments in Nigeria's energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Egumbo. Also on the lineup, an update on the ongoing war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Sit back and relax because Energy and You begins now. Thanks for staying with us. Now let's start with a summary of trending global news in the energy sector this week.
Crude oil prices started trading this week with a gain as a rocket strike on the Golan Heights rekindled fears of a conflict escalation in the Middle East. Brent crude futures gained 40 cents to $81.53 a barrel. Freeport LNG is on track to return to full production, pulling over 2 billion cubic feet of natural gas. Freeport is the United States' second largest LNG exporter and one of the most watched U.S. LNG export plants in the world, because it has a history of swaying global gas prices when it shuts and restarts. The U.S. is the world's largest exporter of the super-chilled gas. Vital Energy and Northern Oil and Gas will jointly acquire U.S. shale assets from private equity-owned Point Energy Partners for $1.1 billion. Vital will buy an 80% stake in the Point Energy assets located in the Delaware patch of the Permian Basin, the heart of the U.S. shale industry that stretches across Texas and New Mexico. Baker Hughes has cut its outlook for spending by oil producers, citing lower drilling activity by North American companies. It joined other oilfield service companies to warn about softness in the region. However, the company raised its full-year revenue and profit estimates, banking on strong international growth and demand for gas equipment.
NNPC Limited is totally committed to occupational health and safety of its workforce in conformity with key health and safety recommendations stipulated in the Environmental Standards and Governance Goals (ESG) requirements for operations in the energy industry. This was contained in the company's submission at a public hearing on a bill seeking for the establishment of a National Safety Regulation Board at the National Assembly. Energy and You was there.
The public hearing was organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations, chaired by Honorable Suleiman Gumi. The lawmakers received submissions from various government agencies, the energy sector and professional bodies alike. Their positions on the bill for an act to establish National Safety Regulation Board and for related matters. NNPC Limited, in its submission, supports the establishment of a board for safety and health regulations in Nigeria, in line with the Environmental, Social and Governance Goals (ESG), which ensures adherence to the international standards imperative for businesses in the sector. The company was represented by Mr. Asuku Tijani, Manager Occupational Health, Safety and Quality Assurance of the Corporate Health, Safety and Environment Division.
The absence of a safety regulation board has already been identified in 2016 when Nigeria and ILO met to develop a national profile for Nigeria. Like you said, it's already managed in its silos and it doesn't have a national effect and as it's supposed to be. So when we have a board that collaborates with all the agencies and all the other issues on this thing, then we probably will see the effect of the what we are supposed to be seeing in terms of safety regulation and implementation across all sectors. Thank you, sir.
Earlier in their remarks, the lawmakers appreciated the robust involvement and contributions expected from the stakeholders in shaping and reshaping the lawmaking process on legislations seeking for safety standards and regulations of lives and property in Nigeria, which are critical to the socio-economic development and well-being of the nation.
This bill is supposed to strengthen the functions of all agencies, including labor. So we are strengthening everyone.
And the law, as contained in the National Assembly, is to say that no bill can ever be passed without the stakeholders forum. And the essence is to have the input of people who are going to be affected by such bill. And I'm happy that we're all responding.
Other stakeholders' submissions on the bill spoke to the need for a strengthened legislation to penalize offenders of the act, adherence to best international practices, and inclusion of the Ministry of Sports in the governing board, amongst others.
There are two critical provisions in the PIA that say that if anybody is going to touch on anything that NUPRC already has jurisdiction, let that body check with the NUPRC first to the extent to which such a new idea can be accommodated in that one-stop shop that the National Assembly has created for us. Otherwise, we let it be.
If we want to look at the safety advocacy as far as Nigeria is concerned, that chairman should be allowed to be the chair, Occupational Safety and Health Association, ex-president. If that is not allowed, then you should rotate it in between the professional bodies.
As deliberations on the bill continue, the lawmakers' expectation is to leverage on the skills, expertise and professional sophistication of the stakeholders to strengthen and develop effective laws capable of regulating and upholding safety standards in various sectors of the economy.
I'm pleased to welcome you to the simultaneous commissioning of 12 CNG retail stations in Abuja and Lagos, a significant milestone for NNPC. These stations represent a major step in expanding our CNG presence in the country.
It's already rolling out across the country. You can see the benefit. People are saying that this works for them. It's cheaper fuel, it's cleaner fuel, and it's accessible. And what we are going to do is to roll out across all the states of the Federation. It's already work in progress. We'll construct 6 CNG model stations spread across the country. Between now and December, you will see this happen.
The increased uptake of CNG will foster economic benefits right across the board. Reduction of fuel costs, job creation, reduced transportation costs, cost effectiveness, and mass transit.
We are building an LNG station in Ajokuta, 3 stations, 1 belonging to us, 2 with a partnership. What this does is to bring CNG closer, gas closer to its consumers across the country. Particularly, distance matters in transporting gas. And that's why we are doing this so that it becomes accessible and becomes easier. And this is short term, because as soon as we complete the AKK pipeline, it gets much closer and closer to end users. And ultimately, as you reduce the distance, costs will come down and you will see cheaper and cheaper fuel across the country, particularly areas that are distant from the source of the gas, mostly in the northern part of the country.
I commend the NNPC for living up to the mandates of their own establishment to work through and make sure CNG is available for Nigerians.
At the back of the mind of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it is now totally an imperative that we move the country, and you can see clearly NNPC is taking the lead in this.
In the heart of Africa's energy landscape, the African Petroleum Producers Organization, APO, stands as a beacon guiding its member countries through complexities of the oil and gas industry. At the helm of this strategic organization is Dr. Omar Farouk Ibrahim, the Secretary General, who has dedicated his career to empowering Africa's energy sector. Energy and You had a chat with him. Here are the details.
The Apple Secretary General started by highlighting the challenges facing the African continent in the global energy landscape and the diverse nature and capabilities of Apple member countries, as well as response to the pressing issues by the organization.
The challenge that almost all African oil and gas producing countries face today in the industry. The challenge of finance, the challenge of technology, and the challenge of markets. These challenges vary from country to country. Some countries have gone far in terms of capturing technology, having expertise, even playing in finance. Others are lagging behind, either because they are small economies or they are newcomers in the industry.
As the conversation shifts to the highly anticipated Africa Energy Bank, Dr. Farouk's enthusiasm became palpable. He declares that the Africa Energy Bank will be a critical source of financing for energy projects, providing the much-needed capital to drive sustainable development and economic growth within the continent.
We went into partnership with Afri-Exim Bank about 2 years ago, and today all the documentary works have been done. At the last ministerial meeting of Apple in November in Cotonou, the ministers approved the establishment documents, the charter of the bank, and the host country agreement, and directed that the selection process for the host country of the bank, the headquarters country, must be completed by the 31st of March.
Recall that early in July this year, the federal government announced that Nigeria has been selected to host the $5 billion Africa Energy Bank. With the Africa Energy Bank set for launch soon, Dr. Farouk is confident that it will be a catalyst for transformation across the continent and a historic moment for Africa's energy sector. The Africa Energy Bank will empower member countries to unlock their full potential, secure a brighter and more sustainable future for their people.
Coming up after the break, a look at NNPC's strategic moves to enhance its financial practices, just as it looks to raise its asset security strategies a notch higher. Please stay for these and much more in a moment. You're still watching Energy and You. Now, in a strategic move to enhance its financial practices and security protocols, NNPC Limited recently held 2 significant retreats through the Finance and Accounts Directorate and the Corporate Security Division of the company. Both retreats were aimed at showcasing the company's commitment to continuous improvement and dedication to fostering a culture of financial accountability, operational efficiency, and robust security measures. Here are the details.
The Finance and Accounts Directorate retreat themed Financial Reporting and Liquidity Management brought together the top financial and accounting professionals within the organization. The retreat focused on strengthening the company's financial reporting processes and improving its liquidity management strategies. In an opening remark, the Chief Financial Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Omar Ajia, highlighted the importance of maintaining a robust financial framework.
If you have to account accurately, the financial reporting must be robust, it must be accurate and fair, and can withstand any scrutiny, not just by Financial Reporting Council or the international community, even the local investigators like Bridget and Co. So it puts a lot of burden and responsibility on us. Let us be part of that training. But not only move the company from loss-making to profitability, but a company that can sustain and meet the expectations of Nigerians. Dividend payments, paying our royalty and taxes, and mind you. And when we say taxes, all forms of taxes.
For us, consistency, focus, determination, professionalism is key. And that's why we normally look up to him as a role model.
This retreat provided a platform for the finance and accounting teams to collaborate, share best practices, and develop innovative solutions to enhance financial reporting and liquidity management for the company. The retreat included discussions, interactive workshops, and training sessions led by industry experts. Participants explored topics such as international financial reporting standards, cash flow optimization, and risk management strategies. The NNPC Limited's Corporate Security Division held its own management retreat, addressing the critical aspect of security within the organization. In his speech, the Chief Security Officer of the NNPC, Mr. Abba Kauka Mohammed, emphasized that in an ever-evolving business landscape, the security of assets, personnel, and operations is paramount.
Whatever you do, accountability, and to know where you can help us, assist us, become train the trainer, extend the message. If they train me, I pass the message to 10 people, 10 people will pass the message to another 10. From 1, we have gotten 10. From 10, we have gotten 100. From 100, we have gotten 1,000. From 1,000, we have gotten 1 million. This is how the message should be able to be transported and transferred. And at the same time, it can now reach the expected destinations.
The retreat enabled the NNPC security management team to review current procedures, identify potential vulnerabilities, and devise comprehensive strategies to strengthen its security measures and operations. The Corporate Security Division retreat also delved into areas such as threat assessment, crisis management, and cybersecurity. Participants engaged in simulations, case studies, and knowledge-sharing sessions to enhance their understanding of the evolving security landscape and develop tailored solutions for NNPC Limited.
The war on crude oil theft continues to gain momentum, with NNPC Limited recording more gains through the discoveries of illegal mercenaries around the production field. Here's an update.
The war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration on hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to record remarkable progress. In the past week, 2 barges used for loading and transporting illegally gotten crude oil was seized and moved to Tebidaba in Bayelsa State. Still on water, 20 wooden boats conveying stolen crude or illegally refined products were seized and confiscated in the past week in Bayelsa and River State. On land, 18 vehicle arrests were made in Abuloma, Borokiri in River State, and in Ubenu and Koko in Delta State. 38 illegal connections were reported on several oil pipelines in the Niger Delta region in Adikiama Community, Azuzuama Community, Konshaw, Igbematoru, and Okpotuari in Bayelsa State. In Iba and Alo in River State, several more were uncovered. In River State, 84 illegal refineries were uncovered and confiscated in Bile, Buguma, Tombol 4, Anduwiliki, and in Tombol 3, where a cluster of illegal refineries were found. More illegal refineries were destroyed in Biseni, Buguma, Konsho, and Yenagwa in Bayelsa State. This is a destroyed refinery in Ipo, Abia State. Oil spills owing to vandalism of hydrocarbon infrastructure were recorded across several locations in Bayelsa State. 5 locations used in storing stolen crude oil and illegally refined products were spotted across several locations in Rivers and Bayelsa State in sacks, pits, and reservoirs. Between the 20th and 26th of July 2024, a total of 235 incidences were uncovered by several incident sources: Tantita Security Services, Shell Petroleum Development Company, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Company, Nigeria Ajib Oil Company, Heirs Holdings Oil and Gas Company, NNPC Command and Control Center, and government security agencies. 28 of these incidents took place in the deep blue water, 18 in the western region, 112 in the central region, and 77 in the eastern region. Between the 20th and 26th of July 2024, 23 suspects were arrested. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good. To report crude oil theft or suspicious activities within your area, call the numbers on your screen now, or send an email to report@stopcrudetheft.com. Handsome rewards await the whistleblower. Do your part. Report oil theft today.
And that's the show for this week. We'd like to say thank you for joining us. And you can catch up on past episodes of the program by scanning the QR code on your screen now. Remember, you can get updates of other events of NNPC Limited through our social media handles showing on your screen. Thanks again for watching. I'm Egosa Igombo. See you again next time.